Good evening, everyone. In the previous video, I have shown you how to record the transactions in the case of credit purchases. Now, in this video, we will learn how you are going to record the transactions in the case of credit sale. So here also I selected the three transactions which are related to the credit sale, sales returns, and as well as when you are receiving the cash. So we are following the same pro forma for the journal: date, particulars, ledger folio, debit, and as well as credit. And the transactions are asked to record in the books of Nandu. So I gave the heading journal entries in the books of Nandu. And the three rows are selected in the pro forma because there are three transactions. In case if you have number of transactions, depending upon the number, you can go on increasing the rows. Now, one by one, we will look and we will see how the journal entries can be recorded. So first, on January 2nd, goods sold to Sham 7,000 rupees. Now, if you observe this transaction, the word cash is not mentioned and the name of the person is mentioned in the transaction. So if the word cash is not there and the name of the person is mentioned in the transaction, then it comes under the credit sale. We have two types of sales. One is cash sale and the other one is credit sale. In the cash sale, the amount will be received by the buyer immediately. But in the credit sale, you are going to receive the amount from your buyer at a future date. So the Sham is the buyer in your transaction and the worth of the goods what you sold to the Sham is 7,000 rupees, but it is a credit sale. So that is the reason you are going to receive the amount at a future date. Now, how you are going to identify which should be debited and which should be credited. So for this, let me open the working notes. So when you are selling the goods to the Sham, obviously Sham will be involved in the transaction and sales is involved in the transaction. Any purchases, sales, purchase returns, sales returns, cash or the assets, everything comes usually under the real account. And Sham always comes under the personal account because the name of the person is involved here. And the principle of personal account is debit the receiver, credit the giver. So whenever you are selling the goods to the Sham is the receiver of your goods. So the principle tells debit the receiver. So that's the reason Sham is debited. Now, when you are selling the goods to the Sham, sales are going out from you and the sales comes under the real account and the principle of real account is debit to what comes in and credit to what goes out. So whatever is going out from you, the principal is telling that it should be credited. So that's the reason sales account will be credited. So in this transaction, Sham will be debited and sales will be credited. Now I'm going to record this transaction in the form of the journal entry. So January 2nd, Sham is debited. Always the first line refers to the debit. So Sham account debtor to sales account. So sales also is credited and the amount is 7,000 rupees. And remember, in this transaction, still we did not receive the cash because it is a credit sale. So the journal entry is Sham account data to sales account whenever you are selling the goods to the Sham on the credit sale. Now, we proceed with the next transaction, that is on January 4th, goods returned by Sham 200 rupees. Students usually confuse here. What returns is this? Whether it is a purchase returns or whether it is a sales returns. When the word return is there and the word buy is there, this is a hint that students can easily understand that it comes under the sales returns. The word return and as well as buy word is there, which I highlighted in the bold character, then it comes under the sales returns. Returns is there and the word to is mentioned, then it comes under the purchase returns. Now buy is there, so it comes under the sales returns. In case if you want one more hint, if you observe the previous transaction on January 2nd, we sold goods to the Sham. So obviously this is going to become the sales returns. So this is the next hint how you can identify whether it comes under the purchase returns or sales returns, because the previous transaction which is related to the sham is involved with the sale. This returns is going to become the sales returns. So the two aspects now which are involved in the transaction are sales returns and as well as the sham. So let me open the working notes. So sales returns is involved in the transaction and sham is involved in the transaction. Sales returns always comes under the real account. Sham comes under the personal account. Now, when Sham is coming and giving you the goods, because he's a customer, he's having the right to return back his products when he's not satisfied. Whenever customer feels the goods are defective and if they're not satisfied, you have to receive the products from them, because being a businessman, if you want to survive long run in your business, the customer satisfaction should be our priority. So out of 7,000 worth of the goods is not coming and giving you on Jan 4th. 200 worth of the goods only he's coming and giving you. So now we will see for this 200, which should be debited and which should be credited. So when Sham is coming and giving you 200 worth of the goods, sales returns which are coming to you. And the principle of real account is debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So sales returns are coming to you when Sham is giving back. So sales returns will be debited. And who is giving the sales returns? Sham is giving the sales returns. And the principle of personal account is debit the receiver, credit the giver. Whosoever is giving, always credit him. The principle tells the same thing every time. So that's the reason Sham is giving you, so he will be credited. So for this transaction, sales returns will be debited and Sham will be credited when the goods are returned by Sham for January 4th. So let me record in the form of the journal entry. So January 4th, sales returns account data to Sham account. So first line always go with the debit and the second line always goes with the credit. So 200 and as well as the 200. So now if you see the transaction on the Jan 4th, the entry is sales returns account data to Sham account. Now the very important transaction, that is on January 6th, that you received the cash from Sham in full settlement of his account. Always remember, when the word full settlement is mentioned in the transaction means the account is settled with the Sham. So further from the Jan 6th, related to this credit sale, there is no other transaction you have to do. So full settlement means that day only whatever amount you have received, the account is settled there itself. So the transaction is telling on January 6th, from Sham, you received 6,500 because till now you did not receive. On Jan 2nd, it was a credit sale. On Jan 6th, he is coming and giving you the amount which is related to the Jan 2nd. So on Jan 2nd, he is coming and giving you the money which he purchased on the Jan 2nd. So now we will see how much amount actually we need to receive, how much amount we have received, because whenever full settlement is there, the word discount will be involved in the transaction. Discount involves in the transaction when the word full settlement is there. So first of all, if you see on January 2nd, you made the sale worth of the 7,000 rupees. And on Jan 5th, Sham came back to you and made the sales returns worth of the 200 rupees. So the total liable value, what you are supposed to receive from the Sham is the 6,800 rupees, because 7,000 minus 200, that is 6,800 rupees. 200 rupees you cannot expect from Sham because that all returned back to you. Already Sham gave and he gave you 200 worth of the goods. So the 200 you cannot expect from the Sham. So 6,800 is the value you are Sham is liable to pay to you. So 6,800 you have to receive. But if you are noticing the transaction is telling that you have received only 6,500. But if you see in the reality, you have to receive the 6,800. So there is a difference of 300 rupees, which is going to become the discount. So always remember, when the word full settlement is mentioned in the transaction, means the discount will be involved in the transaction. So now we will see what are the three aspects involved in this transaction and which should be debited and which should be credited. So let me open the working notes. So cash, obviously it involves. Discount is the new thing which is involved in the transaction because we made a full settlement, and all the transactions are related to the sham. So obviously sham also will be involved in the transaction. So cash always comes under the real account. Discount, the nature is either a expenditure or a income, and all the expenses and the incomes falls under the nominal account. And sham, name of the person, comes under the personal account. Actually, from the sham, you are liable to receive 6,800 rupees, but the transaction is telling that you received only 6,500 rupees. So the 300 rupees, which is going to become the discount. So 300 is going to become the discount because 6,800 minus 6,500, 300 rupees is the discount what you offered to the sham. So actually you have to receive 6,800, but you received only 6,500. It means 300 rupees is the discount what you gave to the sham. So when you are giving to the sham 300 rupees discount, then it is going to become the expenditure to you. You have to receive 6,800, but you received only 6,500. It is a loss to you because sham is not willing to give you 6,800. You settle the account itself. Why to drag the account? So you settled there itself. So you are also convinced to receive the 6,500 rupees from the sham. So 300 rupees which you have to receive is a loss to you or an expenditure to you because you did not receive it. So discount is an expenditure in this transaction. So cash comes under real account, discount comes under the nominal account, and sham comes under the personal account. Now when you see 6,500 is the cash, you received it, debit what comes in. Cash came to you only 6,500, and the principle of real account is debit what comes in. So that's the reason cash will be debited. This 300 rupees actually you are supposed to receive, but you did not receive because you allowed him discount. So that's the reason the principle of nominal account is debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Because it is an expenditure, discount will be debited. And sham is the person who gave you all these things. 6,500 was given by you, the sham, and the principle of personal account is debit the receiver, credit the giver. So the sham is the person who gave you the 6,500 rupees. So the principal tells whosoever is giving you, credit them. So that's the reason sham will be credited. So the entire entry now I'm going to record in the form of the journal entry in our journal proforma. So I'm going back to the proforma, January 7th. If you see here, cash should be debited, discount should be debited, and sham should be credited. Those are the same things I'm doing here. Cash account data, discount account data, to sham account. Now if you see, you have received only 6,500. You gave him the discount of 300. So total of 6,800 is the amount you are going to receive from the sham. So again, if you add the debit and credit, always it should be same. So here also it is 6,800. Here also it is 6,800. So the account is nullified. So the entry, when you are making the full settlement with the sham, whenever you are making a credit sale, the transaction is cash account data, discount account data to sham account. So these are the journal entries you are going to record whenever you have a credit sale in your business. Thank you all.